Welcome to the Variety Radio Online. This is Michelle and Amy, and we are at EnchanticCon 2013. We are so excited to be here with the celebrities from the show and the fans who follow our show online. I have with me today Raphael Sbarge, and I'd like to jump in and take a few minutes with you. First of all, how are you enjoying the con so far?
So far it's great. The very first Once Upon a Time convention, and so it's a milestone, right?
Right, absolutely. Last night you had a small VIP party. Was that nice?
Yeah, we had a sort of a cocktail party and got to walk around and say hi to guests. And
absolutely. What do you enjoy most about Once Upon a Time?
Oh goodness, there's so much. The stories are so well told, and they, honestly, if you, I think probably the thing that is probably, there's extraordinary contributions from all departments, from the acting department, from the production, visual effect department, but the writers and the stories are really extraordinary, and I think that's what sort of hooked us all in.
Yes.
I think it could have been done in lesser hands. Terribly. Just if you take all the elements. Well, we'll take Prince Charming, the Evil Queen, and we'll give them, there'll be this fairy tale land, and there's a little town called Storybrooke, and they've got this alternate reality, and you can go, oh, no. When I first tried to explain to the show to friends, I would just see their eyes glaze over, like, what are you talking about? And at the end of the day, obviously the writing has been given us all great strength, and I think can really engage the fans.
Yeah, it does, and the storylines, you're right, they take such unique time to twist those storylines for us that it just captures us from moment to moment. When you've got to know your fans, I know you were also at Dragon Con.
Yeah.
What is it like meeting the fans? Because I think there's a really strong fan base with this show.
There is, and more so all the time, and more so all over the world. I get tweets from Argentina, Russia, France, Australia, Germany, London, Hungary. I'm leaving a ton out the list is, but, sometimes a lot of American entertainment doesn't travel, travel well. It just doesn't somehow engage audiences in other countries and this seems to, I think, because the nature of the stories and the myths and all the elements. The fan base is, I'm so touched when they come over and they've got these extraordinary, really sort of spent so much time and energy making costumes and even a portion of a costume, which is so sweet. And there was a little girl that I saw who must have been 4 in New York when I did a Comic-Con there, and she was just the dearest thing ever. My mom got her all dressed up. But the show seems to have captured the imagination and the hearts of a lot of people, and it really seems to mean a lot to a lot of people, and the whole idea of hope and magic and good winning out over evil, and all of those things seem to sort of be powerful ideas that really I feel like we're all part of this wonderful club together, and it's really dear.
I think also it captures something from in our child, all of us, no matter what age you are. The fairy tales, the things we grow up on, it captures something in us, and I think that's what draws us in.
Yeah.
Because we can all relate to one story or the other, or that was the one that scared me, or and so it pulled out, like we were talking about, Peter Pan kind of scared us,
Yeah.
So it pulls something out in all of us, which is really nice. And I think that's why the fan base is so wide and growing, so strong.
Yeah, I think that's right. And what's interesting too is that how, my son who's 8, and he's older now, but when the show, when we all first started getting the show, 8, and my mother's 82, and they both love the show for different reasons, right? So it's an incredible demographic to think that it would work on both levels.
Right.
And I'm stopped all the time by people say, oh my gosh, the one show that our whole family can sit down and watch. And that's so, I love hearing that. Yeah.
Because I think TV sometimes misses that too, remembering that the family, everybody, something that everybody can watch. The holiday season's coming up. I'd love to ask you, what is one of maybe your favorite things during the holiday season?
Favorite things in general?
Yeah, with your family, or something that's a tradition that you've done, something that's just, the holidays are here and everybody gets really excited. And what's something that stands out to you for holidays?
Yeah, I mean, I love Thanksgiving. It's sort of probably one of my favorite holidays, just because the whole nature of being able to sort of sit around a table with your family and really sort of give thanks and really be grateful and really take in the year and really sort of gather together kind of the ones you love and really take a moment to really just, from your heart, just say how grateful we are that we're here and for all the gifts we have, even if it's being a tough year. I'm grateful for this, and that I don't know. There's something about that I think we probably should do every night. But that in a way is just it's my favorite. With kids, of course, Christmas is fantastic, and I have a place in New York, and so my kids and I are going to New York, and so we're gonna have a romp around and see the Rockettes and go across, the Brooklyn Bridge and run around. And they're hoping for snow, so that'll be fun. And and then the other thing is just hopefully to kind of find moments where we're all feeling a little, we can de-stress and try and relax and not worry about getting everywhere we need to get to and all the parties and the Christmas gifts and everything.
Yeah.
So that's the hardest part of it. But hopefully we can find moments where we can kind of take a deep breath too.
Yeah. I know you're part of an organization. We love supporting different things around the country, and charities mean a lot to us. We do a lot with anti-bullying. I know you're part of Greenwish. So I'd love for you to tell the fans more about Greenwish and what you would love for them to know, because all the fans may not know how associated you are with Greenwish, which I found very interesting. Dragon Con. So would you share that with the fans?
Yeah, no, thank you for asking. Greenwish is it's a nonprofit that raises money for other nonprofits that are all local and they're all green. So the idea is that what we've been able to do is create a way in which we have created chapters in cities all around the country. So what happens is you have a bunch of people who are concerned about what's going on, that is, earth, air, water, sustainable education. And they are able to, with the tools that we give them, that's our tax EIN number, that's free banking from People's Bank, that's all of our designs and infrastructure and access to what we've got. And what they can do is create their own chapter in their own city. At which point then they can raise money through whether it be retailers or events or through any number of manufacturers are working with us, or we have certain stores that just donate money. And then what happens is that all of that money goes right back into that community. Okay. So it's 90 cents in the dollar going right back into your community. So the board that gets identified in this city gets to pick those groups that are doing sort of shovel-ready green projects, again, that are really making your area, to help support sustainable ideas. So we've got chapters now in LA, in Kansas, in Lawrence, Kansas, in Kansas City. We're opening one in Denver. We're in conversations in St. Louis, in South Carolina, Massachusetts, Vancouver. So they keep growing, and so what we look for are people who are interested. What I like to say often is that if you're aware of what's going on right now. There was this little event in the Philippines. There were 28 hurricanes in the Midwest last week. There's some intense things happening with the planet, and there's a lot of need out there, and it's really easy to sort of get to apathy. In other words, why do anything? Because it's all going bad anyway. This is a way to sort of feel like you're actually able to sort of give back and feel good. We all know how good we feel when we give back, and you know that obviously with all the charitable work you've done. It's a wonderful thing to feel, and then that it would then be targeted to these smaller nonprofits that are in your neighborhood that you might not even know about that really need the money. That really need the support. And when I've called sometimes and said, hey, this is Greenwish, and we're going to identify you as one of our nonprofits, they burst into tears, and they say you have no idea how much we need this money, and it means so much, and what a creative, wonderful way. And it's passive income for them. We just get to sit and write them checks. And again, I take no salary. It's not about that. It's really about creating a program where people can, in a way, the old aphorism of as opposed to giving them a fish, you teach them how to fish. Mm-hmm. This is a tool whereby which you can actually make a difference, and you can support those groups that really need the help so much. So our sort of one of our mottos is we gather coins to make real change. So.
Nice. I have 2 questions with that. If a fan is interested, or a group of people are interested in a state to look at that, does Greenwich already have kind of the structure and format, how they even start that chapter?
We do.
And also how to verify groups that they support?
Yeah, we've got, basically the simplest way to sort of go about this is if you're interested in a chapter or interested in discussing this, write us at greenwish@greenwish.com. Greenwish.com is the website. We're on Facebook at Greenwish. But we have infrastructure in place whereby which there's someone who will work with you, almost like a mentor you, to actually create a chapter.
Okay.
And when I've been doing these conventions, for example, this convention, proceeds of which will go to Greenwish.
Okay.
And so we're very interested in finding other people who are like-minded, and if you're interested in not just helping one, but maybe 5 or 6 groups, gosh knows, there's enough need out there to do so, and we want to make it as easy as possible.
Okay.
My favorite book, oh my goodness, there's so many. I mean, some of my favorite books probably come out of when I was reading as a kid. I mean, I loved Catcher in the Rye, and I loved The Hobbit. I remember reading The Hobbit over and over again. I reread, it's such a silly little book, but I reread Jonathan Livingston Seagull with my son recently, and that was really fun. And I'm currently not reading a novel. I wish I was. That's the thing, one of my current regrets, but I love to read.